Since the early days of motoring, when cap and goggles and duster were standard equipment, there have been three major advances in driving. First, the self-starter took the place of the back-braking hand crank. A second big change came when the open touring car, with its trials and tribulations, gave way to the closed body. But there was still the business of pumping the clutch and shifting gears. Of course, clutches became easier to use, and synchro mesh, introduced by General Motors, made gear shifting easier and quieter. Then the automatic transmission appeared. And in 1950, Chevrolet was first in the low-priced field to bring motorists this new way of driving. And now, in 1951, in this beautiful new Chevrolet, Powerglide is a time-proved sensational advance in driving ease and comfort and safety. It's as simple as A, B, C. No, even simpler than that. With the control lever at drive, there are just two things to do. A, press the accelerator when you want to go. B, press the brake when you want to stop. And there's no C, because there's no clutch. No shifting, no work for the driver. Nothing difficult to learn, just some of the old driving habits to forget. To understand its basic principles, let's see how the rear wheels get their power to drive the car. Let's represent the driving power by a mechanical hand that applies the twisting force of the engine to the rear wheels. Usually, this twisting force is transferred to the rear wheels through a rear axle, a differential, transmission gears, and a friction clutch. But perfect smoothness is not possible with a friction clutch and gears. So let's put this hand of iron in a velvet glove. Now we can apply engine power with perfect smoothness by using the force of liquid to transfer the power from the engine to the rear wheels. Now we have a power flow that's as smooth as velvet, and we no longer need the friction clutch. In Chevrolet's Powerglide unit, this is the pump driven by the engine. It sets the fluid in motion. And here is the turbine that takes the twisting force or torque from the moving oil and transfers it to the drive line and rear wheels. But Powerglide is much more than just a fluid coupling. To eliminate transmission gears, engineers designed these wheels called stators and a secondary pump, which make possible the automatic increase in the force of liquid flow to give us not just 3 or 4, but the equivalent of an infinite number of gear ratios. Just as nozzles on a garden hose can increase the force of the water, the stators increase the force of the liquid in the transmission and direct it to multiply the twisting force. And with this flexible control of power, we no longer need transmission gears. The power under perfect control is passed from engine to rear wheels, exactly as it is needed for all driving conditions. For many years in Army tanks, the torque converter has been a star performer, and in massive General Motors buses. Chevrolet's automatic power team combines 3 special units designed to work together. First, a special 105 horsepower valve and head engine designed to develop its maximum twisting force at much lower speed than other engines. This means smoothness and economy. Second, the Powerglide automatic transmission. And third, a special fuel-saving economizer rear axle to give an overdrive effect. All 3 elements are designed to work together in perfect balance. A power team unique in the automotive industry. In the mountains of the East and the Rocky Mountains of the West, owners have discovered the ease and comfort and safety of driving with Powerglide. 90% of your driving can be done in drive position. As a test, 9 Powerglide Chevrolets were driven from Detroit to Phoenix, Arizona, through heavy city traffic, through all kinds of country, over hills and mountains, without ever changing from this setting. For extreme climbs where you would normally shift into lowest gear, Simply move the control lever to low without ever lifting your foot from the accelerator. And you have at your command an equivalent gear ratio that is lower than low, full engine power under tiptoe control. Power Glide puts new safety at your fingertips. In drive position, the engine produces a noticeable braking effect. But for steep downhill grades where you would normally shift into lower gear, again, a touch of the control puts you in low. And you go down at controlled speed without using the foot brake. Safety for you and your passengers, safety for others on the road. To back up, lift the control lever slightly and move it to R. And your Chevrolet responds with oil-cushioned power. You'll find parking easier. Besides neutral, you have another position called park. When you put the control to parking position, your wheels are mechanically locked, independent of your braking system. You can't roll or be pushed. On slippery roads from Maine to Oregon and all over the country, owners have found how Power Glide masters these road conditions. Low and reverse have been placed next to each other, so you can move the lever back and forth without lifting your foot from the accelerator. And rock the car out of the most difficult spot. And when you pull away on muddy road or slippery pavement, Power Glide improves traction because it applies engine power so gradually. What about sandy or gravel roads? Because it can rock the car back and forth, owners have found Power Glide equal to sandy roads in all sections of the country. In fact, hundreds of thousands of owners have tested Power Glide under every kind of driving condition. Out in the deserts of California and Arizona, and out on the prairies in midsummer months, Power Glide Chevrolets have driven through hot, baking country, mile after mile without overheating. How about starting up on hills? That used to be a problem to many drivers. Owners find that for most hills, you can stay and drive. For very steep ones, switch to low, step on the accelerator, and Power Glide gives you the engine power you need to start up the hills smoothly and safely. Uh-oh, are we in trouble? Sometimes, due to forgetfulness, batteries do get run down. Now what? Well, with the control lever in low, because of exclusive Chevrolet design, Power Glide will start when your car is pushed at a speed of about 15 miles an hour. That's much less than the speed that some other automatic transmissions require. And what about gasoline economy? After a year of operation, many drivers report equal or even better economy with Power Glide than they've enjoyed with previous standard Chevrolets. Out on the open road especially, drivers have reported better mileage. Much of this economy in both city and country driving is due to the overdrive effect of the economizer rear axle. Because of its special high reductions, normal open road driving speeds are accomplished with the engine turning more than 10% slower. Of course, economy depends very much on the driver himself. This kind of driver will give up some gas economy for extra performance. By switching the control lever to low for super getaway, you'll leave the pack behind without any trouble. But what about getaway when you're in drive position? Well, let's watch a normal driving test. Here's a Chevrolet with Power Glide and another car with a standard gear shift. There's the light. The driver of the Chevrolet gives the accelerator a good nudge, then lets up a little. The other car gets away in first gear. The standard shift is a little ahead. But as the standard car loses momentum while the driver shifts to second, Power Glide keeps accelerating smoothly, evenly. And when the other car hesitates to shift into third, Power Glide is pulled way out ahead. With its velvet cushioned flow of power, Power Glide gives a new feeling to getaway. Yes, Power Glide is a wonderful new experience in driving. The hundreds of thousands of Power Glides on the road during the first year have given the equivalent of several years of owner road testing. as compared with the experience of any other new automatic transmission. A major engineering achievement. No major service problems. So Power Glide offers you the only proved automatic transmission in the low price field, and the only one with all these driving advantages. And now, more beautiful than ever, with more driving ease than ever before, Chevrolet for 51 with Power Glide lets you drive with a velvet glove, smoothly, effortlessly, the equivalent of an infinite number of gear ratios. Always just the power you need, automatically, under cushion control. Another reason why Chevrolet is smarter, safer, and offers greater value.